Hey guys, it's Brit. Today we are in the kitchen making Irish Reuben potato nachos. This recipe is perfect for St. Patrick's Day coming up, or if you were a lover of Reuben sandwiches. We pretty much are deconstructing that into a healthy, whole food, plant-based meal that is really fun to share with family. And again, we love making this around St. Patrick's Day and really anytime. Reubens were kind of my go-to thing before being plant-based, and this definitely does it for me the same way, and I feel so much better. So we're gonna get into it. It's a couple steps, but it's really easy. We're gonna break it all down for you, and you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with it, I know. So I like to serve this in a platter, and first up, what I usually do is I roast up some Yukon Gold potatoes that I slice, or even those like small baby potatoes that you find in the grocery store, just little bite-sized pieces. I have them all cooked here. I just roast them on some parchment paper in the oven until they're nice and kind of golden on each side and cooked through. And that's it, just plain potatoes here. All right, the first part that we're gonna do together is we're gonna make our corned beef for this recipe. And I cooked some ahead of time, but this beautiful, vibrant color of corned beef is really soy curls. And this is a great way to use soy curls if you've never used them before. We love it. It's just dehydrated soy, and it really does mimic kind of the texture, the flavors that you add to it, and it just makes a great corned beef for our Reuben potato nachos. So we're gonna get started with that. So again, just cooked potatoes, and then we're moving to the soy curls. The soy curls, all you have to do is hydrate them in a bowl of water. So I took the amount here, I filled it up with water, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes. Now, all of the measurements for all of this is posted down below in the show notes. So if you click the show notes down there, you're gonna see the whole recipe. If you click onto our website, you can get a free printable PDF or Microsoft document to print off and have. Really simple to do. And we have a beautiful website that doesn't have any long stories. I really get straight to the recipe and the photos for you guys. So make sure you head down there and check out all below. But this is just 4 ounces of soy curls that we're gonna shred. Now I wanted to share this step with you guys because I think some people don't know how to maybe like shred soy curls, and it's really easy to kind of mess it up if you go too far with it. So again, we just took the soy curls, put them in water. It can be any temperature water just to rehydrate it. I'm just gonna drain off the liquid. Okay, make sure all the excess liquid, you don't have to squeeze it out or anything, but just make sure all the excess liquid is gone. And then I'm gonna add them to a high-speed blender. Now I'm only gonna pulse on the lowest setting, only for a couple of seconds, just so everything is shredded. Okay, if you go too far, you can kind of pulse it into kind of mush. So we still want it to be intact. Again, any excess water, you can kind of just squeeze out before you add. They don't need to be bone dry. We want them to be hydrated, but I wouldn't want to put all of that extra in there. And then again, I'm just gonna pop on the lid. This is so easy once you do this. And we're gonna blend it on the lowest setting. And that's it. So like 4 or 5 seconds. Not long at all. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them back into that bowl, and you can take off the lid and see that they're shredded. So this is a great substitute for shredded chicken, for shredded, we're gonna use it for corned beef today. It just has such a nice texture. So if you are somebody who is just using soy curls for the first time and you see that there's pieces that are like real big and plump, know that you can shred it and add it to like, we do this a lot for like buffalo dip. It's just a great little hack for you, and it only takes a couple minutes. So I'm just gonna drain off that extra water, put my soy curls back into the dish. Now that they're all shredded. And then we're gonna season it. So to make them look vivacious, we want it to look just like this beautiful finished product of our corned beef sub. And so to do that, we're gonna add some seasonings to flavor it, but also to color it. So up here I have some smoked paprika, which is going to give it a nice red color. I also have onion and garlic powder. We have some black pepper mixed in. And then my special ingredient is just a little bit of beet powder. Doesn't have to be a lot. You'll see all of the measurements are written out in the recipe down below and on our website. But all of those are going to make it a beautiful color. So when we go to bake it, it looks like what it's supposed to, right? So go ahead and add it to a bowl in with the soy curls. It's gonna look like corned beef when we get done with it. And then with clean hands, I just take it and toss the soy curls. And so that way you really can massage in the seasoning as well as, the coloring. So with the smoked paprika, and you can use regular paprika if you'd prefer that, and the beet powder really does make it this beautiful pinkish red color. And again, it bakes beautifully, really simple. So this doesn't take long either. Just take a moment to kind of make sure it's all well combined. And then I'm gonna put this in the oven on a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and I bake it at 250. And we bake it at lower temps because we follow what Dr. Greger recommends, and we necessarily don't want to eat AGEs and glycotoxins. So we always cook our soy and our nuts and seeds and things like that at a lower temp. So I know I always get questions on that, but that's why that temperature is so low. And this generally takes around, I would say around 30 to 35 minutes. And we just spread it out. Really, really easy. And then you have your corned beef sub for the Reuben potato nachos. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this into the oven and we're gonna move to the next step. It's really quick when it comes together. Once you have your potatoes cooked and ready to go, and this, it takes no time. Once your corned beef soy curls come out of the oven, you can go ahead and add it to your potatoes. And I also added in 2 cups of sautéed cabbage to it as well. And I just like to toss everything really well so it all gets kind of incorporated and mixed up. I also have 1 cup of homemade sauerkraut. Now, last video, I asked you guys if you guys wanted to see our SOS-free pickles. We also have an SOS-free sauerkraut we make. I have plans to make a video on this very soon. So be on the lookout for that coming up in the next month or so. We just had a batch ready to go. So again, sauerkraut, a cup. I love sauerkraut. So I could even go a little bit more on the sauerkraut, but around a cup's really nice. Everything is very well proportioned, so it's not too much of one thing. And again, at the end, I'm just gonna toss this all so it gets incorporated. So you get some of that potatoes, the corned beef soy curls, the cabbage, and the sauerkraut mixed in really well. Yum. All right, and then we're gonna make the Reuben, and that's pretty much it, the Reuben sauce. Super simple and easy. This Reuben sauce is delicious. You can use it for lots of other recipes. We just adore it, but you guys will see how easy it is. I'm gonna go wash my hands, give this a toss, and then I'll see you guys back in a second. Ready to make the sauce for the top of it. So this is my favorite Reuben sauce that we've created. It's delicious. You can store it in the fridge in a container for around 5 days. We sometimes will have it on hand, especially this time of year. I get kind of in a Reuben kick. I think St. Patrick's Day really kicks it off for me. So we're gonna get started. So you can use half a cup of cashews, sunflower seeds, or white beans. Any of those 3 will work. I have sunflower seeds here today. Okay, they go to a high-speed blender. I have 1 cup of an unsweetened, unflavored plant milk. Goes right in. That's gonna help everything blend really well. This sauce is pretty thick, and I like it. I think it's a nice in-between being really, really thick and still having a little body so you can drizzle it on top. You guys will see in a moment. Up next is 3 tablespoons of ketchup. In a pinch too, you can also use tomato paste. We've done that when I've been out of SOS-free ketchup. And then I have 1 tablespoon of white miso paste and 1 tablespoon of horseradish. So the horseradish gives it a little bit of a bite. If you like a really bitey Reuben sauce, you can definitely increase that. That's personal preference. Mine's a nice in between. Sometimes if I know that I'm just having the nachos myself, I'm not sharing it with someone else, I like to even stir in some horseradish at the end to really, really give it a strong flavor, but that's optional. And then I have a tablespoon of garlic powder and a tablespoon of smoked paprika. And that's it. So now we're gonna blend. It becomes this beautiful, beautiful pinkish colored sauce. Let me share it with you guys. And we're just blending until the sunflower seeds or cashews or white beans, whatever you decide to use, are broken up. And as it sits, it definitely gets thicker, but you can go ahead and drizzle it. And another note too is that if you're making this and maybe you only have one oven, so things are coming out at different temperatures, what I like to do is grab a platter that is oven safe, and you can always put it back in the oven for a couple minutes before adding the sauce just to reheat everything. I personally like this a little bit warmed when I serve it. I've definitely ate it cold though, but you just keep that in mind for how you wanna serve it to your guests. All right, and then the dressing goes on top. And you can see it's pretty thick, but still has some body to move. And then it's up to you if you want to toss it so it gets well incorporated, or you can serve it as like this. But it is just so delicious. You guys are gonna love it. I'm such a big fan of this recipe. We actually came out with this last year in the membership. So if you guys didn't know, I have a private membership where we release 10 new recipes every month. And they're pretty much the newest recipes that I have. They eventually do come out on this channel, but it takes a long time. For example, people in the membership had this last March, where I'm just getting around to make a video about it now here. So if you want to be a member, check out the link down below as well. It includes our monthly cooking class and a ton of other things, all for $10. And I'll post some pictures of what we came out this month. But we have some really great recipes coming out for April as well. And I also keep 4 months up at a time. So you technically today have all the way back to December, which is like 40 plus recipes, 8 hours of cooking classes, all for $10. I can't think of a better deal out there. So I hope you guys will consider supporting what we do. We are 100% member supported, and I'd love to have you as a member. All right, check out all the information down below. Look at this beautiful Irish Reuben potato nachos. It's a little bit of a mouthful of a name, but it is so good. It is a showstopper. It's SOS free, whole food plant-based, delicious. This serves around 4 people, so you get a really nice size serving. It gives you a lot. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a comment. I'll see you next Sunday for the next video. And I just appreciate you guys being here and watching. And yeah, I hope you guys love it. See you later. Make sure you check out down below for the recipe. You can print it off. It's a PDF or a Microsoft document. And it's also just in the show notes. So super easy. All right, have a nice weekend, guys. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.